just need to get the 2 points.
There's Mark. Jessica,
And welcome, Muriel.
Bonnie.
Bonnie,
Oh, you know Bonnie?
right?
Hi,
Hi,
Bonnie.
Bonnie.
Hi.
Hi.
Good to see you. Welcome.
I gotta go back and let him through the waiting room.
Oh, okay. It's Ron said to put you in the waiting room for some reason. He's gonna go back in and put you in.
Oh,
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, it's good.
we thought we were right on time.
Are we what, early?
He's got to put us in the we're in the waiting room.
That's all you have to do. Just go back to Zoom.
How are you?
Okay, there's probably more coming. Let's see.
Hmm.
Yeah, get out your agenda now.
I'll go back and check it and make sure it's showing in the end. Okay.
Okay,
And then we'll go through these things,
right,
minutes, treasurer's report and things like that.
yeah.
I'm just waiting to get everybody in, I think.
And what a wonderful addition to our group for Muriel to join us.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
I remember seeing her working on the garden at Big Flats.
Oh, yes. Always. She's the only one sometimes, most of the time.
Yeah,
Bless her
But
heart.
it's beautiful.
Oh,
thank you.
It has been. I
Hey,
take,
Ron,
Yeah.
I was hearing something about needing to get in the waiting room or let people in from the waiting room. Is everyone here? Are we set? Because it's 6 o'clock.
It doesn't say anybody else is in the waiting room.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm going to call the meeting to order.
okay.
I would like to welcome Muriel Friend, the member-elect from Big Flats. Thank you for
Right.
joining us.
Thank you.
If you have a flag at home and would like to pledge your allegiance to it, please
Oh.
do so now.
It's on the
Your red
porch.
candles.
I'm sorry, I don't have one handy. It's on the porch.
But it is on the agenda.
Yes, we usually
did.
do
All
that
right.
first thing.
Has everyone had a chance to see and review the minutes from last meeting?
I think I finally got it. I still wasn't getting it. I think I'm on there now. Okay. Bye.
We hear you, Phyllis.
Yes.
Let's see.
Okay, I was just had a blank screen, but now I can see everybody. All right.
There you
Okay,
are.
good.
Well, she's not really there, but
All
she's
right. Has everyone had a chance to see the minutes from last time? Hi.
Yes.
yes.
Does anyone have any questions, comments, or corrections?
No.
Someone,
I move that we accept the minutes as written.
all right, can I get a second?
Second,
Okay, Bonnie is seconding. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the minutes are approved as distributed. Is Jack on? I am not seeing Jack.
No, I haven't seen him yet.
Okay, well, we're gonna get started on the treasurer's report regardless. Has everyone had a chance to look at the treasurer's report?
That's this, yeah.
Yes.
Now, I noticed that the Central Library Development and the Central Book Aid from both 2020 and 2021 were received this year, presumably recently, which is why those numbers are all wonky. And is there anything else on there that anyone has noticed or has questions about?
These are good.
Okay. Can I get someone to move the treasurer's report?
Mark raised his hand.
Oh, excellent. Thank you, Mark. Can I get a
You're welcome.
second?
I was muted.
Ah. Can I get a
Pam.
second?
Pam,
Pam? Okay, thank you, Pam. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Excellent. And on to the bills. Has everyone had a chance to look at the bills?
2 questions.
Okay.
A cost for the homeschool program. I'm asking Ron what all that includes.
What page are you on?
It's a variety of supplies. It's for 6 months.
It's for a variety of supplies for 6 months worth
Yeah,
of
she
homeschool
has, I mean,
programs.
I have a detailed list of, she's a very frugal shopper. She does a lot on her Cricut. She's bought a lot of resources for that. I mean, Becky is a very, very frugal shopper, but, and Owen thought it might be questioned, but it is for 6 months. And,
I'm not asking about the amount really. I'm asking more about what the program consists of. What does,
She has a homeschool group that meets at Horseheads.
Oh,
She's been doing it for, a couple of years now.
yeah.
yeah.
here. Yeah.
And how often do they meet and what kind of things do they do?
Honestly, Becky is a very creative person, and I think I've shared before that that my kids participated in, and that was been several years ago. But she just does a variety of things. Maybe we can pencil her in to come and give an overview. And Owen and I were talking about it when he submitted it. Becky's one of those people that when she's on the clock or off the clock, she always has her mind on her program. She really does. And I probably shared this before. I know when my kids were there, she brought in this gourd that was shaped like an apple. She had been at the farm show down in Harrisburg and found this really cool gourd, and she brought it back with her. And so, the other one that I can remember that she did was,
Maybe this was.
she had Flat Stanley, and she sent him around, from the book series Flat Stanley, and she had a paper Flat Stanley.
You might not
He
have
sent
got
with her
it.
participants, and he traveled around, wherever they vacationed, or he got mail to different relatives across the nation. But like I said, she's just a very creative, just fun individual, and so maybe we can pencil her in. I'm sure she would be honored to come and share, or maybe even to just fill us in at some level.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I haven't been familiar with it, so I'd like to learn about it.
Yeah, I think it would be great to have her come too.
I think she developed, a standard following there, and she did well with it when she was at Big Flats as well. And she's just a fun, intriguing person, and that's just was my firsthand experience. My kids enjoyed her, and so maybe we can pencil her in.
When your kids went, how often did they meet with her?
Oh, I forgot to say. I believe it was once a week. I believe it was meeting on a weekly basis. Yeah, I believe it was.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
My second question was, and I'm not on the committee for the election committee, but is that a standard cost for the election commissioner for our input for putting us on the back of the ballot?
Oh,
Yes.
that's not for the election commissioner. That's for our election costs, because the board election is carried out by the board members, by us, and is paid for by the library. So we have someone that we hire to be our election, run our election and manage all of that jazz. That's what that cost is associated with.
Sue Cook, here it is. It was
Yeah.
November.
I didn't know how involved that was, because I'm not on that committee, but
It
I
is.
was.
It is
Here
pretty
it is.
involved and it's a reasonable
Trustee.
amount.
Trustee.
We
Thank-
paid that for 3 years now. When,
And I guess I just noticed it. So thank you, Phyllis.
And Sue is really, she's really great to work with. She is very
Each
organized and she is very proactive. I mean, she's working on it well in advance of the approaching date, and she is just really, she has been great to work with. So yeah, I agree that it is a reasonable expenditure for the time and effort she puts into it. She's just great to work with.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions about the bills? All right, can I get someone to move them, please?
I'll move them.
Okay, thank you, Bonnie. Can I get a second? Is
I'll
that you,
second.
Ann? Are you? Okay, Jessica seconded verbally, so I'm going to go with her. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. I move that we have Ron sign for the checks since I am not there to do so. Can I get a second?
Second.
A second.
Mark got there first. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Wait, Carl, was that your hand was up? Was that for opposed or for an aye?
A very late aye.
Okay, thank you. All right, so the bills have been approved. All right, correspondence. Ron, is there any correspondence we need to discuss?
Yes, there is. It's not letting me do it. First thing we got in, excuse me, was a letter from the Real Property Tax Office. Every year after the budget vote, we get a letter from Teresa Murdoch. They ask in preparation for tax billing, they request a tax levy for the district for the year 2020. They ask us to send a letter. So I have already responded to her with the amount for the tax levy for next year. Second thing we got was a donation from the Yamasaki Donor Advised Fund Grant. It's a family trust. This month we got $600. So I will send her a thank you letter as standard procedure.
What is the amount that we need to vote to accept? There is
1,000.
Oh, okay, so we don't need to vote to accept this one. Awesome, thanks.
Right. That's it.
That's it. All right. I guess President's Report time. So I wrote a letter to the editor of the Star Gazette thanking everyone who voted for us and mentioning some of the services that we as a library offer. I guess we'll see if it actually makes the paper or not. If anyone else would also like to write a thank you letter, feel free to do so. We can never have our name out there too much unless it's tied to a scandal. And that's pretty much all of the news I have to report for the director's report, or the president's report, sorry. So I will let Ron do a director's report now.
Okay, the central library plan that you approved at the last meeting will be getting voted on by the Southern Tier Library System Board of Trustees in March. We're ahead of the game, so I thank you for approving it. We had the Directors Advisory Council meeting yesterday. I informed the members that it had been approved. And Brian then explained to them the procedure that STLS will follow to approve it. Excuse me. Personnel actions, we only had one. That was a contractual step increase for Stephen Smith. So I would like a motion to approve that raise.
Okay, so I see Phyllis is moving. Can I get a second?
Penny can second.
Okay, Penny seconded verbally first, so we're gonna go with her. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All righty, so the personnel actions have been approved. Speaking of personnel actions, Ron, can you tell us a little bit about how things are going with the COVID?
That's next on my list. We had a staff member test positive for COVID last week. She is still off. I told her she has to have a negative test before she can return to work. We've also had 2 other staff members who took off. Both have tested negative. One is still off because of a sinus infection, is what it turned out to be. The other one reported back for duty tonight. I have 2 other staff members that we're waiting to hear the results on. So hopefully those will come back negative, and we've been a little bit shorthanded because of this, but the staff is doing an admirable job carrying on.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can we actually require a negative test to come back? I thought they just had to follow the health department protocol and stay isolated for so long and then they could go back.
We have required a negative test since day one. So unless I'm challenged, I'm going to continue to do it that way.
Okay.
And again, I know what you're saying, but I just feel more comfortable, and I know the staff feels a lot more comfortable with a negative test.
Okay.
We sent out, Holly, you sent out the digital media rules?
Yes.
Okay. You received an email from Holly with proposed digital media lab rules. I'd like you to take a look at that. I would like to have it voted on at the executive committee if we have enough people. If you have any questions, please let me know and I'll get a hold of that. We had a request for children's books for the health department. I forwarded that email to Owen. He's going to start collecting books. I've also talked to I forwarded it to the Friends of Chemung County Library District. She hasn't gotten back to me, but I know they will start looking, and I have told Amanda to start putting books aside, anything that's discarded. I did want to ask Crystal, do you know the age limits they're looking at?
Yes, I'm sorry, Ron. I just saw your email about that. It is 5 to 12 years old.
5 to 12, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll help us tailor a lot better.
And thank you for doing that legwork. I appreciate your help.
No problem, no problem. That is all I have under directors. I'll catch you up on the parking lot project under buildings and grounds.
All right, thank you, Ron.
If we have children's books that might be appropriate, would we take them to the library or what?
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to collect them here until we find out more information from where the health department wants them.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks. Executive committee. Did everyone have a chance to look at the meeting minutes for the executive committee? Did anyone have any questions about anything covered in that committee meeting? Congratulations to everyone who was elected during the election. So good job, all of us who are re-elected. Welcome, Muriel, who just got elected. Yeah, go team. There was a question in the email list that went around about the New York State law requiring library board trustees to complete 2 hours of annual training. Ron, do you want to clarify that verbally for everyone who is at this meeting, please?
Yes, it takes effect in 2023. You don't have to do it in 2022. I highly recommend that we start it next year, though. It's only 2 hours. If you attend a STLS online training, that'll take care of it. And then when you do sexual harassment training for the board, that'll help cover it as well. It'll be reported on our 2022 annual report, which is due in 2023.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone have any questions about that?
Rachel, can I ask a question? I'm sorry. Before you started talking about the executive committee stuff, you guys were mentioning something about waiting for the health department for something. I missed it because the director of the health department interrupted me while I was listening to you. So if I can help, I just want to know if it's something I can help with to move it along, but I couldn't catch what it was.
We just need to know how they're going to pick up the materials or how they're going to collect them. That's all.
Okay, I will take care of that and I will get back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. All right, if we don't have any further questions about the executive committee, let us move on to the buildings and grounds committee. Nope, the budget and finance committee. I actually missed this meeting because it was 2 minutes long and I logged in a bit late. So if anyone who was actually there would like to speak to it, that would be awesome.
Am I the only one that was there that's here?
I think so.
It was pretty self-explanatory. I mean, it was 2 minutes long, so we're in good shape, as we always are.
All right, does anyone have any questions about that super short meeting? All righty, now we'll move on to buildings and grounds.
All right, I think Ron can cover this, but we had good progress since the last meeting.
Yes. They came in, they've poured the sidewalk and the ramp. It's now curing. We should be able to walk on it and drive on it starting on Monday. They have to come back and put in the handrail. I don't have a date on that. Follow up with Bob when I see him next week. And then finally, I had a question about the handicap spaces. The spaces are not lined off like, for showing where the loading zone would be. He's going to
hatched
line it on Sunday, so it should be good to go on Monday. Then the parking lot, once we get the railing, it's done.
Okay. Hi, Jack. Welcome.
Is anything going on with the gazebo in Horseheads?
I know they started it, but I didn't have a chance to talk to Owen today. I'll get more information for you, Carol.
All right. Well, that's nice because they're handling it all.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions about any of that? All righty. So next committee is personnel. Penny, is there anything to report on the personnel committee?
We have nothing going on.
Okay, thank you, Penny. All right. Election and continuity. Take it away, Phyllis.
Okay, I did send, I sent the report to Holly and asked her to send out to everybody this afternoon. I don't know if she had time to do that. Holly?
Yep.
Yes, you did.
Did you see my email?
Yes, yes, it went out.
And you sent it out to everybody?
Yes,
Okay, then I guess I really don't have anything to say. It went smoothly. There were no problems. Sue said that she thought the absentee ballots were a good way to go. And that the only thing she thought should be stressed is for to do differently next year is that when people come in to vote, they should know what district they are in.
Right.
the number of the district, especially if, because there are people whose names are not on the ballot because they didn't do the petition. And so if people want to vote for them, they have to know what district they are in. That was the only change, and it went smoothly. She did a very good job, and we're happy with it.
Okay.
Do you think perhaps just a sign on the table when you come in would be sufficient? You are in district, whatever.
Well, no, because.
Yeah, so I ran as a write-in, and I actually gave a little note to the people I asked to vote for me that had like how to correctly spell my name and what district I was in, because it is
Good.
confusing if you're a write-in, especially
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you know
Good
you can't be like,
idea.
oh.
That's a very good
and
idea.
it was helpful because I got everyone I asked voted, so
And they spelled your name correctly, which is kind of a miracle.
and important.
You spelled your name right, huh?
Carl, will you remember to say that next year when we
I'll try
give the
to.
list of people? Will you give that?
And I
to
saved
Jeff?
my little letter too. So
Oh, good.
well, the other thing was to tell people when to vote. I put that in there, you know, that it wasn't till noon, because the last time I ran, some people showed up in the morning and it wasn't set up yet.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of stuff, because it is confusing. They have to go to a different place, and
Yeah. I agree.
I hope you will say what you did to the people who have to run next year. That will be helpful.
Well, maybe, Carl, you could give your letter or something similar to the election committee, since they deal with it every year. Give
all right,
them
I'll
an
send it to you,
idea of
Phyllis.
what they need.
Thank you.
Yeah, good idea.
That brings up another thing. Sue is going to retire from her job with the ID booth, but not the election committee.
Oh, she's going to stay on this.
Yes, she said that she was willing to do it again.
Oh,
So
good.
So good.
Well, thank you for that report. Is there anything else that you would like to add to that?
Well, that's it, I think.
Okay. Advocacy committee that doesn't technically exist.
No.
Again, I would urge anyone who feels compelled to write a letter to the editor to do so. Or to at least keep an eye out and see if the one that I wrote ends up in the paper. Executive session, is there any reason that we need to enter? I don't believe so. Does anyone have anything that they'd like to discuss in executive session? All right, is there any old business? Any new business?
Did we approve the personnel actions?
Yes, we did. Back during the president's report. Oh, no, the director's report, sorry.
There was just one. Yeah.
Right. The step increase. Muriel, would you like to be our period of public expression?
Would I like to be what? Would you like to speak up as our public?
No, I'm just learning all about this, and I think I have a lot to learn. I went around, when I went around with my petition, collecting names, I found that a lot of people were not registered for voting at all. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
And of course, they had no idea what number the library district was either. So that was very informative for the people that I talked to. So other than that, I'm looking forward to an interesting couple of years.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, welcome aboard. We'll look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
All right, is there anything else that we need to discuss before we log off?
I just have a question. On the library materials expenditure report, it did, in the circulation report, it did show that more people are using ebooks. And yet, when I looked at the library materials expenditure report, the fiction spent about 56% and the nonfiction, we're talking adult books here, ebooks and audio books, both nonfiction and fiction, we're not at anywhere near spending all their money. And I wondered why, if it is hard to find the ebooks that they want, is there a problem with that? That they're not spending it all?
They're going through doing their standard material selection, Phyllis. I don't know about a lack of new materials coming out. I can ask, I'll talk to them and see what their status is, get more information for you.
Okay, when, I know that was used to, when they first started ebooks, that was a problem, that we couldn't get everything we wanted. Or the new things, and I've been looking at them a little bit, and they're not coming, what they are buying, the new, they have a thing where you can go in and see the new books. And they're not always new books. You know, they're new books to the ebook, Libby, but not always newly written books. And I wondered if that was still a problem and if there was anything we could do about it.
I will ask.
And SPLS has that breakdown that they have to follow too, like they're required to have, what is it, 40% diversity? I mean, there's guidelines that STLS enforces on them, and I think that makes it challenging sometimes to, you know, to meet that criteria that's being put upon them to fill their carts. And they do have, like, you know, we always have, now that they've gone through cost share too, now there is when, you know, that expenditure increases so much in this last quarter of the year. So I'm sure there'll be a big jump, you know, as we finalize the year. But I think sometimes that's a challenge for them as well. You know, to meet that criteria.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other comments? All right, well, in that case, I move that we adjourn. Can I get a second? I see a lot of hands. Holly, pick one. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? All
What
right.
is our what is our next meeting? Thursday, December what?
Second?
Uh,
I mean, 11.
No, third.
Third, oh.
It's the third Thursday. I don't know what the date for that is. Hold on a moment. Let me pull up my calendar.
The 16th.
16th, okay.
Oh, she beat me to it. Okay.
Stay well, everybody.
That was just.
Have a great Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Have a good
Safe
Thanksgiving.
driving for those of you who are traveling, and enjoy your holiday for those of you who aren't.
Thank you.
Drive carefully.
Thank you. And Ron, I'll send you an email.
All righty, thank you.
Thank you.
Here you want these sheets. No.
I don't think so.